Now the part of the show that I love is the Daily 3. That's 3 questions, 3 minutes. Take it away, Sam.
All right, the Vikings are reportedly not going to pick up center Garrett Bradbury's fifth-year option. That means this is the final year of his contract. Ron, is this the final year he will play as a member of the Minnesota Vikings?
No, I don't think so. I think that just means that he has to earn his way. I mean, look at Laquan Treadwell. Similar things happened to him, and he ended up coming back to the Vikings. It did not work out on his opportunity to earn another chance to be on the team. Because if Laquan Treadwell had come out and had 60 catches that next year, 800 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns, they probably re-sign him and say, hey, let's get him on a 2-3 year deal. Garrett Bradbury is going to be the same. In this new offense, again, it's going to be a similar zone read scheme. Everybody kind of has gone to that. It's easier for the offensive linemen. Basically, if you think about, for those that don't understand zone read, just real simple, it's basically blocking a guy in an area. You don't have a guy. Like, you don't come to the line of scrimmage saying, I'm blocking this guy, you're blocking this guy. You're blocking your zone. You're blocking your area. There's double teams that happen within that area, and then the one guy moves to the other guy who steps up in the area, so you might double team a D tackle to your side. And then the guy, there's a post guy and a leave guy. The post guy sets him up. Other guy keeps him, and then he leaves, and he goes and gets that linebacker. Everybody's doing that. The big difference when you look at the Rams, they pass first and then they run. So they were setting up the run with the pass. The Vikings were always like confused. I don't ever think that they had, like, I don't think Kubiak Jr. had a plan. I don't think that he really understood what he wanted to do. It always seemed like, Zimmer wanted him to run to set up the pass. It felt like he wanted to pass to set up the run. And you just had a huge kind of like rubber meet the road moment that he could not let go of that. And so I think Garrett Bradbury, being in this new system, he's going to have an opportunity to do a little bit better. He's going to have to pass block a lot better. They might get lucky, make a trade, draft a guard that's usable. But they also have some veteran guards they bought in. So this could be a different look team. Where, the Dolphins guy, everybody's saying, oh, he hurt this guy. The Buffalo Bills guy, oh, he hurt this. Like, every fan base has something about players that leave that they're just not happy with. Like the Vikings losing Stephon Diggs. There was, at least we don't have to deal with the drama anymore. So there's always going to be negatives from fans when players leave that they can always tie to. Players can go other places, start anew, have a great career. So we just don't really know what that interior line is going to look like. We know the tackles are set. But I think the key for Garrett Bradbury is just going to be do your job. Like, a lot of the stuff the Rams did was quick hitting. I mean, Matthew Stafford did not have to sit back in the pocket forever like he did with the Lions. He had quick, easy reads. It was, here's my guy, here's where I'm going. If he's not there, here's my second read. I don't think it's over for Garrett Bradbury. I think he can earn his way, and this offense can help him out.
It's a really optimistic view. I'm down on him. I mean, worst pass blocking center in the league 3 years in a row, and they're going to pass more, and that's going to work out. I don't know. We'll see.
You have a coach that can help
you
identify the rushers. That's the big difference. This coach is going to help them identify the rushers. In the past, it was figured out for yourself. Now you have a coach that's in their ear as well, not just the offensive line coach. The actual quarterback's coach and the offensive coordinator and the head coach are all going to be able to say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how you pick up the blitz. Also, Kirk, change the play. You got 2 guys in the A-gap. Change it. Run a tunnel screen. Run a bubble screen. We're going to see some of that.
Yeah, no, we could, and scheme change might be big. I will admit that.
Yeah.
Another Vikings one. Rumor has it the Vikings and Saints could play each other early in the season in London. Are you excited about the London games these days, or are you bored by the whole thing?
I mean, there's a thing. I get it. I get the whole thought by it. I think for the home team, they're not too happy with it because they lose a game that fans would have went to. For New Orleans, if it is New Orleans, instead of the Vikings having to go play in New Orleans and deal with that crowd in that stadium, now they get to play them in London. So it becomes neutral. It becomes a neutral playing ground. Even though, New Orleans is the home team, it becomes neutral. You got 32 different teams that are going to be represented in those stadiums because fans are just going to see football. It's a little bit different internationally than it is here. You're going to have Raiders jerseys. You're going to have Rams jerseys at that game. You're going to have Lions, Bears, Packers. It's going to be scarves. It's going to be everything. Like, it's going to It's going to be a fun atmosphere, but they're going to cheer loudly for both sides. It becomes, so I'm bored with it because I just think it's gimmicky. I get it. It's money. It's trying to make the game more international, like basketball. I think that's every league's idea. Even baseball wants to, make sure they continue to keep it international. But I am kind of like, I get it. But we'll see. I mean, I'm on the schedule release show for the NFL. And so I'll get the Vikings schedule early. So I'll kind of have an idea of who they play, where they play, when they play beforehand. So, we'll see.
Yeah, the Vikings and Saints have had so many electric atmospheres over the years that I think it's a bummer for them to lose out on one of those home atmospheres. I remember obviously the last 2 playoff games, one in New Orleans and the Minneapolis Miracle here, incredible. Yeah. But they've had some really good primetime regular season games too. And I know that, it's Drew Brees is not there anymore. Sean Payton's not there anymore. Mike Zimmer's not there anymore. Stephon Diggs isn't here anymore. Like, all of the key figures in that rivalry are pretty much gone, so it's kind of a new rivalry. But it does sadden me to see that game go to London, where most people don't really have a loyalty. It's more just general football fans trying to learn the game. I think that's what you lose. You lose. I mean, this is not a Jaguars, Raiders game. This is like a pretty big rivalry game that I think would probably be on Sunday Night Football.
The Jaguars Raiders, though, I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence and Derek Carr. Like, that's what they were trying to get. Like, you got 2 teams. Who knew that Urban Meyer would be the lap bandit? Like, everybody thought that was going to be the way to go. They were going to be the new Ohio State of the NFL. Hey, Nick Saban tried to get in the NFL with the Dolphins. Didn't work for him. Didn't work for Urban Meyer either. So, hey, it's just learn from your mistakes and move on. I will say this, though. After you just named all that, Sean Payton gone, all these people gone, I feel like that's an easy, not say easy, but I think it's an easy win for the Vikings, especially if it's in London. I just think it fits. And there's more international. I feel like there's more international Vikings fans for some reason than there is Saints fans.
I think you're right about that. I don't know why that is, but the Vikings seem to have that international flavor to them, or presence. I've been scouring Twitter trying to find interesting quotes from Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. He just gave his pre-draft press conference this morning. What was I thinking, trying to find interesting quotes from a GM on draft week? He's talking about they might trade up, they might trade down, they might amass picks, they might not amass picks. He's basically hedging all of his bets. He's clearly learned well from his predecessor, Rick Spielman, who never said anything at these press conferences. So I guess I don't know what my question for you exactly is, but do you think Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is going to, I'll ask you this, is he more likely to pile picks to trade up, or is he more likely to trade back throughout the draft?
So this is where I sit with this. So Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, he wears the baseball cap. Love it. Love the swag. Love the laid backness of his persona. Love the Ivy League kind of like, I got this. Never looks like he's nervous or sweating. Like Ryan Poles. When Ryan Poles went to the podium, it was questionable. Some of the things he said, he couldn't even read the card correctly. Everybody's like, oh, he's so nervous. Kwesi was like a cucumber. He was like the other side of the pillow. Dude was cool. He got up there, told a story about his parents, told everybody, he cried a little bit, had everybody else crying. Movie-esque ending to the Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah story if this was Hollywood. Getting to the podium, making everybody cry, going out drafting. He's going to draft probably the best corner in the NFL. 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, I remember when, like Kevin Costner drafting T'Challa. Who knew he drafted the dude drafted Black Panther. Like, you can't tell me the Black Panther is not the best player in the NFL for that movie. Like, you drafted the Black Panther. Like, that dude can take hits and keep moving. He can run faster than anybody, tackle everybody. Like, he drafted the Black Panther. So that's where I think Kwesi is. Like, Kwesi is sitting back. He's not going to – and this is the thing. It's not that he didn't give people bulletin board material. He's just doing what every GM does. You don't ever show your hand. If I'm playing poker, I got the hat down low. I got the hoodie kind of up maybe a little bit. I got sunglasses on. I'm not giving you any reads. I'll never forget playing poker in Detroit in a tournament. Old dude had been messing with me all night. About 5 hours into it, got back, ended up at the same table again, broke him, took like $5,000 from him. Why? Because he couldn't read me. He just assumed I was out here because earlier I had made a stupid bet on like a 2-4 offsuit, just trying to see if I could hit something on the river or on the flop. And he just, this kid doesn't know what he's doing. Took his money. Other people had my back. So that's what I think Kwesi is. He's not going to give you guys anything. Like early on, yeah, I gave you some Rick Spielman type vibes. I gave you some Rick Spielman type feels. I'm setting y'all up for the draft because you have no idea what I'm about to do. But I got this ace king suited, and I'm about to let it go as soon as you tell me what you're doing before I tell you what I'm doing. And I think that's where Kwesi stands.
Yeah, he's playing things so close to the vest. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one huge move coming on Thursday. We'll see. We'll see. Bonus question. We're running out of time. I want your best 30 seconds on the Taylor Jenkins comments about the officials in the Wolves-Grizzlies series. He called them inconsistent, arrogant, and embarrassing. He got fined $15,000. Your thoughts on Taylor Jenkins calling out the refs?
1 out of 3 is not bad. Inconsistent, yeah. Arrogant, no. Embarrassing, nah. You're just mad you lost. If you won, because it's been the other way around, where the Timberwolves, people have said that's not a foul. That's not this. Look at Cat's fouls in that one game. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them may have been Cat's, but 2 of them were phantom calls. So it's gone both ways. Chris Finch kept his mouth shut. Taylor Jenkins, hey, you guys suck. Well, let's see if it pays off for him. I said it earlier in the show. I think he did it for a reason. Just like baseball managers do the same thing. When they get thrown out of a game, they're doing it to get their players going. They're also doing it to put the umps on notice. I know what you're doing. And so that's what Taylor Jenkins is doing. He's putting the referees on notice. He's also trying to get it out of his players to say, hey, it's us against the world. I saw Tom Brady's Man in the Arena last night. I watched it, and he said the season with the Falcons was a FEA type of season. That's F them all. That was dope. That's where I think Taylor Jenkins is trying to get these Grizzlies to feel like this is a FEE league, FEA series. It's us against them. F them all. He's trying to get these guys riled up. And I think that's where he's going with it. He's trying to put his Tom Brady on his team and say, hey, it's us against the world. These refs aren't going to help us out. They love the Timberwolves. So it's just us. So, no, I think he does what a coach thinks he should do in that moment to get his players ready to play in Game 5 at home because it's a must win. They lose tonight. They probably lose in Minnesota, and it's Wolves in 6, like I said from the beginning. So hopefully I can put my crown on and say I called it, Wolves in 6.